Hello and welcome back to Simon Outdoors for the Canoe update. As you can see, I've cut it out. I am wondering whether it is too deep, but there's only one way to find out, and that's by carrying on building it and seeing how she floats, with me in it and my kit. So, what I've done is I've taped two pieces together so then I can spread it out, because if I tried to put a cramp on here and tried to spread it out, I'd have just snapped the plywood. Just a second ago I had tried to lift it outside so I could put it on the floor, because I'm here by myself tonight, so I could sit in it and see if I need to put some more of these in here. The plan was to originally spread it a little bit further back, so you almost, instead of having this shape, you'd almost have a flat section in the middle. But I'll have to wait until tomorrow till I get home from work and see if I can get the wife involved a little bit, even though she didn't want me doing this, to see if while I lift it up she can move the plywood out and the two workbenches. Then I can drop this on the floor as it is and sit in it, and then find out whether I need to widen it any further back. Just grab the tape measure. About this point I've got about 20 inches. So if I sit slightly off centre, I've still got wide enough to get me in, and then room at the back to put a rucksack in behind the seat rest, because this is having a seat in it like I've mentioned before. Originally I got these pieces of 3x3. Now I've just decided I'm not going to use those. Mainly one reason: weight. I want to keep this as light as possible, because once I've done the timber frame, hopefully through another friend, I might be able to get help with the fiberglass in. So instead of using those bits of wood, I'm now thinking about using these, a lot lighter. So I've just got to plane that to a wedge shape, slide that in there, glue that in place, then that tape can come off. That will then almost hold the boat into this sort of shape. So then I can work on gluing some strips in the bottom, and once I've glued some strips to the edges of the bottom, then I can drop the other pieces of plywood, which is down there, underneath, curl it up. I could probably sash cramp it up to here, draw it out, then cut it out. That's it, my phone keeps going out of focus. Then that will drop in. I'll obviously flip the boat upside down and put some weight on it and press it down. I really don't want to use screws on this project. I was going to, but I don't want to be poking any holes through the side of the boat, even though I'm going to fiberglass it. Because the actual strips of wood that I'm going to use, because I want them to bend, are quite small. So they're very, very bendy that way, but not the other way. So the problem is with that, when I come to put them on the floor, it'll only come to about here. Then I'll have to cut it off and then do small little pieces up here to support that floor. But because I'm fiberglassing it now and not just oil-based painting it, this really is not so much all the strength, it's mainly a shell, just something to build the fiberglass around. I have no idea how many coats I'm going to be able to put on of fiberglass to make it strong. That all depends on how many of you guys help me out by purchasing my tinder pouches, and then I will be able to get this thing fully watertight and unsinkable. Yeah, you just count on them words. He said it was unsinkable. You wait till this is ready to get put in the water. But we've got quite a bit to do first. Before we start putting this in the water, we need a bottom on it. But yeah, joking aside, as well as the boat, I'm obviously going to need to buy a life jacket. I'm not going to be daft. I can swim pretty well for a fat guy, but yeah, I'm going to get a life jacket, and also I'm going to get the insurance as well, the license. I think it's called the British Canoeing Union. It's about 45 quid for a year. That's cheaper than the Canals and Rivers Trust, who wanted about £65 for the year, just to use their water, rivers and canals. So there's all other bits and bobs. So I'm going to make my own paddle, and then obviously I've got my own camping gear because of bushcraft. So, and then it'll be let the adventure begin. I think it looks nice from this angle, but when I stand sideways at it, I think, good grief, it looks more like a ship, you know, like the Titanic or something. Actually, joking aside, I was going to write that on here. I've actually been thinking of boat names, either a few silly ones, but then the Adventurer, or the Adventure, and then the Titanic, you know. Actually, I have one that is unsinkable. I tend to, when I'm building something, go over the top, you know, with the timber sizes, everything. So the depth, I'm just being careful because of my weight. But obviously you've seen that I'm only gluing the bottom on with tiny strips of wood. So, but like I've also said as well, this now, because I'm going to fiberglass it, if I can afford to with your guys' help, will just mainly be like a shell. So with this and the fiberglass, it should be strong enough to hold me inside. So, and the glue that I'm using is pretty good as well. It hasn't got a name to the glue. The only thing I can compare it is Gorilla Glue. It's yellow and expanding, and it's waterproof and it's super strong. But the stuff that I've got is some industrial stuff that I've got left over from working on the bench as a joiner. So that's what I'm going to be using to glue, well, everything on it. So once I've got these bits in, these bits are going in next, then the strips on the bottom, then the bottom will be going in, then I'll be putting strips on the side. Once that's complete, I might also put a section in here just to add a bit more strength, maybe one in the back. I think I will be doing that. Then it'll be the seat, and then ready for fiberglassing. I'm going to have a flat seat with obviously a backrest, and for that, down here the seat, I've got some tongue groove board, and then we have a little stroll over here. I've got some more tongue groove boarding that I got out of their recycle bin, but they still sold it me because they don't get it out for free nowadays. So that's probably going to be the backrest, and the other thicker piece will probably be my seat. And then hopefully, if I've got some little pieces of this left, excuse me, I might sneeze because of the dust. Bless me. Somehow, even with the curve, I might have to shape them into the curve, or I'll glue them on that way and then mark the curve on to make the rails for my seat to rest on. And then I'm also going to have to put some like that way. Oh, let's move the camera while I'm talking to you. So I've got the angle for my backrest as well. So, right, well, thank you very much for joining me on my canoe update. If you'd like to help the project along, to help it speed up, please have a look at my leather tinder pouches. You'll probably see photos of them on my Facebook page and also my Instagram, and possibly I think they're on videos further down. So like I said, they're £13 posted out to you. That would be a great help. That's just going to go back in the pot for this project. So, like I said, life jacket, insurance, pay for fiberglass, and stuff like that. So thank you very much for watching Simon Outdoors. If you've liked this film, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe, and take care. And I'll see you again. It'll be a couple of days, but there'll be more progress. Stay tuned.